Hey guys, welcome back to 1776 or Bust. So on the table you see my CZ-P01 and of course a holster. Now I have had a holster for this gun and it was actually an old Klinger. I've had it for probably going on four and a half years now. And it just didn't really fit the way I wanted to. It didn't have a very good fit to it. It is one of the older Klingers, so you know it could have been just that. But I felt like for this kind of gun and for the way I wanted to carry it, it just wasn't going to work. So I had been looking at some holsters online. Obviously, you guys know that I have a lot of Vetter holsters, and I do like those quite a bit. I have Tactical Justice, Klinger holsters. So I have a huge array of different types of holsters. But in this case, I wanted to find something that was unique and something that had certain different types of qualities that, in my opinion, make it a holster worth getting. So when I was looking online, came up to this holster company online called 2A Holsters, and I decided to send an email off, and I basically emailed Tom, who's the owner, and asked him if he'd be willing to send me a holster to kind of review for the channel. So we got to talking, and I told him, you know, if maybe, I don't care if I have to pay for it, but maybe he can offer, you know, a discount, and he agreed to that, which I thought was pretty cool. And like I said, I'd rather pay for things because then there's really no strings attached to any of my reviews. Now, in regards to the holsters, some of the cool features, and I have to tell you that there are a lot of these really good features on this holster. The first thing I'm going to talk about, and I'm just going to remove the gun from the holster really quick, but one of the things I'm going to talk about, guys, is the actual way this clip is set up. Now, what you'll notice is that you have this cutout here, and there's also another cutout there. You can actually see it on the inside right there. But what this does is actually allows you to move the clip up and down roughly 2 inches. So if you want to deep conceal, you can. If you want the gun to stick up a little bit more in regards to where it's positioned on your hip, you can do that as well. So I think that's a great idea. Also, the clip can actually be canted forward or backwards. So again, if you want to use a pretty good amount of cant like I do, or if you even want to do an appendix type carry, you could probably do that as well once you straighten this up. And I believe you could probably do a cross draw if it sits like that. So I mean, that's kind of cool. So just with this one clip and with the way he cut it out here, you actually can carry this in several different ways. And I think, again, that's pretty cool because a lot of times when you get a holster, you can only carry it certain ways. And if you want to carry it a different way, well, then you have to get another holster. In this case, you already have 3 of them right off the bat. So that's a pretty good deal, cool deal. Now, the other thing that I like about the holster is the actual backing of this. Now, what you'll see here is a velvet material. And underneath the velvet material is actually a neoprene. And what it does is actually causes a nice cushiony, I guess you could say, barrier. Now, is it like, you know, sitting on a pillow? No. But it does give you a different feel as opposed to just straight up Kydex. Now, I know, don't get me wrong, I like Kydex holsters. I have no issues with them. And I have to tell you, you know, even like with the hidden hybrid holster, they're very comfortable to wear. And one of the things that I did like about it, it just gives you that little bit more affordable comfort in the hip area, especially if you're carrying on the strong side. Now, also one of the things I like about this velvet material is the fact that when you put it in your pants, what you'll notice is that you will not get a lot of movement on the holster. Now, I know some people complain that when they wear Kydex, the Kydex has a tendency to shift, depending, of course, on the belt. But again, that could be a belt issue. But if that happens to you, what you have here is this velvet material that actually causes a lot of friction. Now, it's not uncomfortable friction. It's not going to give you like a friction burn on your you know, butt or your hip. But it does give you enough friction to actually maintain where that pistol is. So I think that's a great idea. And I have to tell you, man, after weeks wearing it, it is really nice. Now, just to kind of go through the edges are nice and smooth. There are no issues with this. Now, I will tell you that there was one small issue with it, but it had nothing to do with the holster maker or Tom. It actually had to do with me. Because I didn't order it through his website, one of the things I forgot to, or failed to mention, I didn't forget, I just failed to mention it, was the sights that I have. Now, if I had the regular CZ sights on it, it would have fit with no problem. But what had happened was, because I have TFX Pros on there, they're a little bit wider, and they do come further back. So as a result, I actually had to file down this a little bit, and then I wound up smoothing it a little bit. You can see I suck at it, I'm not going to lie. But at the same time, it works perfectly. It's nice and smooth. You know, I could probably, you know, definitely fix that up a little bit. But honestly, guys, no one's going to look at it, and it still works perfectly. So other than that, it's fit perfectly. I have no issues with it whatsoever. The retention is excellent with the single point retention here. And, you know, the clip, what I had to do also was when you get your holster, you'll get a bag like this with extra washers, a couple of screws. What I would recommend that you do, and this is something that Tom had told me to do as well, because I had some issues with the clip initially, was the clip will begin to move a little bit. And the reason being is when it came to me, it did not have the rubber washers on the backs of the screws, just on the front. So he advised me to put them on the back. And since I did that, this thing does not budge, which is, in my opinion, perfect, because I do like having this good amount of cant here. Now, in regards to the gun and the fit and finish, I'm going to grab that gun. Okay, so there's where your take-up point is right there. So after that, you'll notice that there's no real room. But once you just give it a little bit of a push, so once you push it in your holster, you'll notice it works fine. The retention is excellent in the gun, and I probably would have to adjust a little bit more. But, you know, again, I like it just where it's at. I think it's perfect. Plus, I don't do cartwheels while I'm carrying a gun. Now, one of the things that he also brought to my attention, and what I'll do is I'll turn it on the side here. And again, the gun is clear, guys, so please don't panic that I'm going to shoot my hand. But what you'll notice is that on this side that actually hits your body, you have a flatter piece of Kydex. And the reason why Tom does that is for comfort, so that you don't have a lot of, you know, lines or bumps here and there, which can kind of dig in your side. So how he did it was he just basically made it flat here. And then what he does is he offsets it so that more of the Kydex is actually on the outside. So what you notice here is that the trigger guard is actually covered and it's wrapped around in the Kydex, which in my opinion is very unique. I haven't seen something like that, but that's due to the offset. So honestly, guys, this holster is pretty cool. And he puts a lot of work and puts a lot of care into what he's doing. Now, of course, some people might say, oh, this isn't any better than any other holster, or, you know, why should I pay the money for this holster when I can get another holster? You know, again, it's going to be totally up to you. But one thing that I have to say is when you have somebody who's putting this amount of effort and work into a holster, and then on top of that, you know, has great customer service, again, a good warranty, you know what, guys, you know, I find nothing wrong with a holster like this. In my opinion, this is a holster I'll be getting more of. I'm actually thinking about picking up one for a P09, and hopefully at some point he'll have one for a P10 because I really need a holster for that badly. But other than that, guys, this is a great holster. And again, I will put a link in the description so you can check it out. I believe he's got a YouTube channel, so I'll definitely put that link in as well. Also, just really quick, I also have a Twitter account now, and I'll put that link down below. So if you guys want to tweet me, I guess. I'm new to that as well, so it might be some, you know, adjustment period. But 2A holsters, guys, check Tom's work out. He's got some pretty cool stuff. He's got some pretty unique outside the waistband holsters. And he's also got this really awesome chest rig that I totally want so bad because it just looks totally awesome. And again, this is a totally great holster. And I have no issues with it. I've been very fortunate. I have a lot of good holsters. But this one probably is becoming a fast favorite of my collection of holsters with guns. So I hope you guys have a great night. Again, if you've enjoyed the review, please give a thumbs up. Please subscribe if you haven't. And I hope you guys are having a great weekend. And as always, freedom is never free.